A 16-bit workflow has several advantages for a film and video professional. In order to take advantage of these new, better file formats, you're going to have to harness the power of the Adobe Camera Raw dialog box. This will enable you to unlock and essentially develop those raw files captured by high-end digital still cameras. Let's take a look at how this Camera Raw dialog box works. When it comes time to size an image, you have a few different choices on how to attack this. One method involves using the crop tool. And to do this, you need to enter a target size into the options bar. For example, if I was working with standard definition video for NTSC, I would type in the size in square pixels of 720 px for pixels by 540 px for pixels. You could find these sizes listed in Chapter 2. We could then go ahead and crop the image to the size that we want. And in doing so, we can move this to reposition. We then click the return button and the crop is applied. Next, you must resize to the correct non-square size for the image, and this will distort the pixels. We can choose Image, Image Size, uncheck the Constrain Proportions box, and type in the correct size of 486 pixels. We can then click OK. The image is now sized properly for use in broadcast. If you'd like the image to appear undistorted inside of Photoshop, go to the Image menu and choose Pixel Aspect Ratio, and assign the correct pixel aspect ratio. In this case, D1/DV NTSC with a pixel aspect ratio of 0.9. And you'll notice that the image now appears correct on the screen. That's one way to do it with square pixels and the crop tool. Let's go ahead and revert. I'd like to add one additional step. If I double-click on the layer and name it, such as flowers, I can now, of course, go ahead and crop to the size that I want. And click the Commit button. But before doing that, there's an important change. Over here on the left, you'll see Cropped Area. And if I go ahead and change that from Delete to Hide, I can now go ahead and crop. This, however, allows me to move the image around and reposition it, because all of the original pixels are still there. They've simply been hidden. Then complete it the rest of the way with Image Size, unchecking Constrain Proportions, and type in the appropriate height, such as 486 for broadcast, NTSC D1. Click OK, and assign the correct pixel aspect ratio for your tape format. The technique I'll show you works just fine for Photoshop CS, CS2, or CS3, as well as any earlier version of Photoshop. The notable exception that the pixel aspect ratio menu is not available except in Photoshop CS or later. Let's go ahead and close this document, and I'll show you one other method. If you are using Photoshop CS, CS2, or CS3, you can simply choose to make a new document. Pick from your preset list, and make sure you choose a format, such as the NTSC D1 again, and click OK. I can go ahead and click OK once more to dismiss the dialog box, and the image is open. At this point, you could simply go back to the other image, select All, and choose Edit Copy. Close that document and choose Paste. And that pastes the new image into the Photoshop document. The act of pasting the square pixel image into a non-square composition will automatically convert the image and set it to the correct pixel aspect ratio. At this point, you can press Command or Control T to invoke the free transform command, and then Command or Control 0 to zoom out so you can see the control handles. At this point, you can hold down the Shift key to constrain proportions as you drag, or Shift plus Option or Alt to constrain proportions and drag equally in all directions. Position the image as you see fit. You can even rotate it if necessary. And set the image exactly how you want. Rotate back just a little. There we go. And click the Commit button. The image is now sized properly for use in a broadcast environment, and the image has been sized correctly. Feel free to choose between the crop method or the non-square document method. Both work just fine for all users of Photoshop CS or later.